Hello, and welcome to a quick video as we talk about considerations in behavior management in the pre-learning section of our week 10 module. I have pulled together just some ideas on considerations in behavior management for us to look through prior to our live session. We all know if we are providers working with children in whatever capacity. Maybe we're a teacher, maybe we're a speech pathologist, maybe we're an audiologist, but we know working with children has great variability based on the child and based on the day for the child. And isn't that true for us all? So I wanted to pull together a quick overview on considerations of when dealing and working toward behavior management in children. If I were the subject matter expert in this area, I would let you know, but I'm not. I have done a lot of reading and a lot of trial and error over the years in my career, both professionally and as a parent raising children. And I can tell you, just like there's not a handbook on parenting, there's not a handbook on behavior management. But we have lots and lots of research to guide our way and professionals who are subject matter experts that we can take wisdom from as we work to navigate what can be the challenge of behavior management in working with children with hearing loss. So just some rules of thumb, some pearls for you to take away. As a provider, whatever role you are in for working with a child with hearing loss and their family, ask yourself, what is this child's behavior telling me? Behavior always communicates something. And taking time to pause and reflect on that behavior, both internally and out loud with caregivers who are with you in a session, will go a long way to helping discover possibly what techniques are going to help to resolve or move past that behavior. Ask yourself, are my goals or my activities developmentally too high or too low? We know some children, when challenged too much, we can see that can be communicated to us by acting out, or a child that is bored or over a task, or we are not setting the bar high enough for a child. We can also see the child become fidgety or acting out in that capacity as well. Always ask yourself, is this behavior or sensory? Is the child I'm working with a sensory avoider or a sensory seeker? Or is this truly more of a misbehavior or trying to manipulate the environment through my behavior? Another question to ask yourself as a provider, how can I be more proactive rather than reactive? There is so much to be said for thinking before the session starts rather than having to react in the moment. Also, I wonder what strategies work successfully for caregivers in other environments. So asking yourself, be mindful of the fact that caregivers are the experts in their child. And they have tried many things to decrease certain behaviors or increase motivation, and utilizing them as a team member in guiding behavior management strategies is a great idea. First and foremost, when you encounter challenging behaviors from a child in a therapy session or in providing services for a child with hearing loss, download calm. You remaining calm is a huge key to being able to move through the challenging behavior toward positive strategies that might create change. So the first step is always download calm, whether you're feeling calm or not. Take deep breaths, pause, wait, and remain calm. A few more tips and tricks. Use sensory supports as needed. So if a child is extra fidgety and you know they are a sensory seeker, how can you supplement during your time with that child to fill their tank of sensory needs so they are equipped and ready to learn. Use visual schedules as needed. Now, I'm not saying every child with hearing loss needs a visual schedule, but for some children, being able to cope with knowing what is happening first, second, and third, and when the end of the session is, might be important. Have some save the session toys hidden away. We're going to brainstorm on this topic in our live session coming up, but it's always a great idea to have things in your back pocket or in your cabinet very nearby that you know will help a session to recover and move on. Again, can't say it enough. Stay calm. Also, gauge when the child is nearly finished with an activity and attempt to end on your terms, not his. So maintaining that undercurrent of we're all in this together, but I have a little bit of control. And so I might say, oh, let's take only one more turn and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, this is not intended to be an all-inclusive list of any book that's ever existed on working with children through their challenging behaviors. But these are 4 standout resources to me. And I would love to hear more in the discussion from you guys, or possibly in the live session, on resources and strategies that you have found successful in your practice. But I went ahead and put the book covers on here because if you're like me, I'm extremely visual. So this slide is going to give you the title, the authors, and also what you're looking for when you go to look for these books online. But there's 4 here. The first one is Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline. This is taking ideas from Conscious Discipline, which was created in part by Becky Bailey. The next one is Parenting with Love and Logic. And that is Klein and Fay. They've been around a long time, lots of editions of their books. The third one is Raising a Secure Child, which is drawn from Circle of Security Parenting. And the last one is Parenting from the Inside Out, which is looking at a mindset from the field of attachment and what your personal experiences as a parent, how those can bleed into you parenting. Let's just look at a few quick things from each of these, starting out with Love and Logic. In general, this is big picture view, but the 5 core principles of Love and Logic are establishing mutual dignity. So talking to the child as you would want to be spoken to with respect. Thinking about that, I'm going to treat the child with respect and in turn expect that in return. Shared thinking, so standing beside your child or the child as you work to solve a problem instead of between the child and the problem or behind observing the child and the problem, but coming along beside and it lets that process of struggle or that process of challenge be one of learning and coming alongside instead of automatically figuring it out for them or offering no support at all. Shared control, thinking about those areas in the parent-child relationship where control can be given to the child and being mindful of those areas that control needs to stay with the caregiver or the parent and giving away control to the child on the parent's terms, not on the kid's terms. Genuine empathy. And this one is definitely one of the most challenging. So it doesn't come across as sarcasm or belittling, but being truly empathetic with the child and the consequences that come from their behavior, and emphasizing relationship. It all comes down to relationship. And you are going to see some common themes in these 4 resources that I'm giving you, and relationship is definitely at the forefront. Okay, what do we know about conscious discipline? It's a trauma-informed, brain-based self-regulation program in neuroscience. It's rooted in neuroscience, child development research, and it teaches adults to foster safety and connectedness, relationship, Unleashing the ability to learn and problem solve. Both children and adults learn to manage their thoughts, feelings, and behavior, empowering them to reach their goals. Now, specifically transitioning into those 7 skills of discipline from the book that I referred to earlier. I love this chart. It's from their website, and I will have all of the websites and helpful video links listed in this PowerPoint, which we will also upload to the class space. But thinking about those skills, those conscious skills, what does that mean for life and communication skills, and what value does that correspond with? So composure, the ability to regulate. There's some beautiful resources that conscious discipline teaches on breathing strategies and techniques to become calm when you're not calm, but learning that strategy of composure when you are calm, so you have it as a tool in your tool bucket. Encouragement, assertiveness, choices, empathy, positive intent, and consequences. Okay, circle of security. This resource is also listed at the end of this material. It's a great website, just like the Conscious Discipline website is a great wealth of resources and information in addition to the book. This is true of Circle of Security. But as a broad overview of Circle of Security, the idea behind it is that it helps caregivers to understand their child's emotional world by learning to read emotional needs, helps to support their child's ability to successfully manage their own emotions, and it helps to enhance the development of their child's self-esteem, and it helps caregivers to honor the innate wisdom and desire for their child to be secure. Now, the whole concept of circle security is not based on discipline, and it's not based on challenging behaviors. But the book I listed previously is the spotlight that Circle of Security does put on parenting. And then Parenting from the Inside Out. This is a book by Dr. Dan Siegel and his colleague. You can read here a little descriptor of that, but at Dan Siegel's website, which is listed at the bottom of your screen, there are many other resources that look at brain development, attachment, being with versus doing for the child, and other concepts like that. But this hones in on specifically guiding parents through creating the necessary foundations for loving and secure relationships, helps parents reflect on potentially how their life experiences are shaping or even unknowingly affecting the responses of their that they may have from their children in their relationship too. So those are 4 great resources, and I have listed them here for you. They're great websites to spend more time looking into, and I am by no means an expert in any of these, but I do know that they have concepts and strategies that are successful in the caregiver-child relationship. And these strategies, many of them translate into providing intervention services for children with hearing loss, or even successfully into the classroom for working with children of all ages. So please refer back to this copy of the PowerPoint, and please take the time to watch these videos and browse these websites to gain more information. And I look forward to discussing this more with you in our upcoming live session.